September 30th, 2024 marked the moment Dress to Impress sat at the top of Roblox as the single most played game on the entire platform. Not one of the top games, not in the running, the #1 spot, held by a fashion game built by a 17-year-old. 250,000 people were logged in simultaneously, walking virtual runways, voting on each other's outfits, and participating in something that had quietly become a cultural moment. 2 billion total visits had already rolled past. Charli XCX had co-signed the game with a full album collaboration. A TikTok pose pulled from the game's runway animations had spread to real bedrooms, real outfits, real people. The numbers were extraordinary and getting bigger by the week. And here's the thing about September 30th, 2024. It was also the exact day the whole story started collapsing. Not because of a bad update, not because a competitor outplayed the team, but because of the person who built it. So how did we get here? To understand how this fell apart, you need to first understand what made people care about it. Dress to Impress, known to its community as DTI, launched officially on November 11th, 2023, built on a concept so simple it almost sounds like a joke. Players drop into a lobby, receive a theme, and have 6 minutes to assemble an outfit before walking a runway where strangers rate each look from 1 to 5 stars, with the top 3 earning a spot on the podium before the whole cycle resets. The person behind it operated under the name Gigi, with no last name and no public identity beyond her Roblox username, Gigi_DTI. Development reportedly started around age 14, which meant that by launch day she was 17 and already running a full team under the Dress to Impress group banner. The game earned its fanbase the hard way, being completely free to play, with clean design, a strong music selection, and an outfit system so flexible that players could customize skin tones, nail colors, hairstyles, and layering in combinations that felt genuinely expressive. It wasn't a passive dress-up toy. It functioned like a real competition.
We did not even make podium. That is the one time I'm glad about that.
And the community treated it that way. Within its first month alone, DTI pulled in 37 million visits, 100,000 favorites, and 35,000 likes, all for a game made by a teenager working in Roblox Studio. Coming into 2024, DTI didn't just grow. The growth became something else entirely. 1 billion total visits arrived by summer, placing it among the fastest games in Roblox history to reach that number. And the audience spreading it wasn't just the usual Roblox base. Kai Cenat,
Daisy,
Queso, my goodness, I'm serving! Pokimane, and Madison Beer all played it on stream, bringing hundreds of thousands of viewers who had never opened Roblox a day in their lives. The TikTok algorithm latched onto it hard, and a single runway emote called Pose 28 escaped the game entirely, turning into a real-world trend where people filmed themselves in their actual clothes, hit the pose, and posted it for millions of views without any gaming context required. August 2024 brought the Brat collaboration with Charli XCX, adding new themes, new items, and a full aesthetic identity tied to one of the biggest albums released that year, with theme options including Y2K, Mean Girls, and club classics. The game trended again. By September 2024, the concurrent player average had locked in around 250,000 people online at once, and the single highest recorded peak reached 651,000 simultaneous players on one Roblox fashion game. Most people following the numbers assumed this was a success story with nowhere to go but up. None of that mattered, because something very different was already happening behind the scenes. Questions had been circulating in the community for a while before anything went public, and most of them centered on a single visible gap in the game's design. DTI marketed itself around self-expression and fashion for everyone, yet it offered no plus-sized body options whatsoever, a choice that players raised repeatedly without receiving a real answer. Allegations surfacing later would frame this not as an oversight, but as a deliberate decision, with claims that Gigi had chosen to exclude those body types because she did not want inclusivity built into the game. Running beneath that were reports of developers going unpaid, staff members who had contributed to the game's systems and art without receiving what they were owed, and claims that a known groomer had been allowed to stay on the development team. None of this had broken publicly yet, and the average player logging in for a runway round had no idea any of it existed, and that's when a rival game entered the picture. A developer named Sarah, known online as Mrs. Spongies, had spent roughly a year building IT Girl, a Bratz-inspired fashion challenge game with a similar competitive structure. Sarah publicly stated her inspirations were Nova City and Royale High in reality, not DTI. But according to Sarah, Gigi viewed IT Girl as a direct threat, and the response allegedly wasn't to build a better product or compete on the merits. The response allegedly was to try to destroy the competition before it could grow. Sarah posted her thread on X on September 30th, 2024, bringing Discord screenshots, forwarded messages, and a full Google Doc of documentation, and what those materials contained was worse than most of the community had anticipated. The first allegation described Gigi telling people in a private Discord group chat that if IT Girl ever blew up, she would frame Sarah for rape to destroy her reputation, a message she reportedly deleted after negative reactions within the server, but not before someone had already taken a screenshot. The second allegation involved an attempted false DMCA claim against IT Girl, an effort to have it removed as a copycat that ultimately failed because the games didn't share enough similarities to make the case. The third allegation claimed Gigi had obtained a photo of Sarah and made fatphobic comments about her appearance in that same chat. Sarah's thread collected 19,000 likes within 2 days, and she wasn't the only person who came forward that night. A former DTI employee named Chawiru posted their own thread the same evening, alleging that when they opened up to Gigi about serious personal struggles, including a moment where they had been in genuine crisis, the response they received was doubt and dismissal, with Gigi essentially treating their experience as something made up. Screenshots accompanied the post. A developer named Misuki_U followed, claiming she was one of DTI's original co-owners and that the game had been taken from her team without credit or compensation, while also bringing evidence of racially charged comments Gigi had made about her own background back in 2022, along with claims of involvement in an inappropriate Discord server at age 14, unwanted explicit material sent to others, and an alleged attempt to blackmail the owner of a separate Roblox game called Fashion Dolls. A fourth person, a developer named Jen from a game called Jen's Mansion, alleged that Gigi had contacted one of her players and asked for intimate photos in exchange for access to an unreleased update, all while misrepresenting her age as 19 when she was reportedly somewhere between 14 and 16 years old. At 7:31 that same night, Gigi linked a Google Doc response from her X account, a post that would collect 5,000 likes over 2 days, roughly a quarter of what Sarah's thread had already pulled. She admitted the rape comment, calling it vile and disgusting and attributing it to a reactive moment triggered by TikToks she'd seen mocking her game. She acknowledged the explicit Discord server, framing it as something a, quote, bored kid had done years earlier. She placed most of the incidents at age 14, not as an excuse, she said, but as context. The fatphobia accusations she called 100% untrue. The racism allegations she denied. The solicitation claims she denied as well. What followed inside the game was described by one community member on the DTI fandom forums this way. After her absolutely disgusting past got exposed and rightfully called out, the people in-game and outside of it were just following suit and bullying and harassing random players who just want to play in peace. Farming servers appeared overnight, organized groups assigning every player 5 stars to rig the rating system, and harassment spread through the lobbies in ways the moderation team couldn't keep up with. The cultural energy that had built DTI into something people genuinely loved had curdled into something much uglier. Here's the uncomfortable part of this story. The game didn't die. 3 weeks after the allegations broke, the Halloween update launched and pulled over 1 million players on its first day alone. December 14th, 2024 became DTI's all-time peak, with 1,743,000 concurrent players, a record set 2.5 months after one of the worst creator controversies in recent Roblox history. 10 billion total visits followed. Lady Gaga did a collaboration, Wicked got an event. Roblox Innovation Award nominations came through. Gigi stepped back from public view for a period, and in July 2025 she released a new statement describing time spent self-reflecting, acknowledging some of what had happened. calling certain allegations false, and promising a more mature version of herself going forward. Plus-sized body types remained absent from the game as of late 2025. No public resolution came for the developers allegedly left unpaid, the employee whose crisis was dismissed, or the co-creator who maintained the game had been taken from her team. What happened to Dress to Impress wasn't an external collapse. No competitor knocked it down, no platform decision ended it. The damage was structural and self-inflicted. The person who built something genuinely loved by tens of millions of players allegedly spent years treating the people closest to her, developers, staff, competitors, vulnerable people, as obstacles to be managed or threats to be neutralized, and the game was popular enough for long enough that none of it surfaced, until it did.